ज्ञानाञ्जनशलाकया चक्षुरुन्मिलितं येन तस्मै श्रीगुरवे नमः। नमो विष्णुपादाय कृष्णप्रेष्ठाय भूतले श्रीमते भक्तिवेदान्तस्वामिनिति नाम्ने। नमस्ते सारस्वतीदेवे गौरवाणी प्रचारिणे निर्विशेषशून्यवादी पाश्चात्यदेशतारिणे। जय श्री कृष्ण चैतन्य प्रभु नित्यानंद श्री अद्वैत गदाधर शिवासदि गौर भक्तवृंद। हरे कृष्णा 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 हरे हरे, हरे राम 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 हरे हरे। So about Ishopanishad, one small question I want to ask. Ishopanishad is a part of which Veda? Who can say? We discussed this. It's a part of Yajur Veda. Okay. And amongst these 4 Vedas, Ishopanishad is a part of Yajur Veda. Yeah. And Ishopanishad is kind of Upanishad is basically something where a lot of philosophical things are being discussed, and Srila Prabhupada discusses the things in a very interesting way to even attract the impersonalists and make them into personalists. That's why Prabhupada's Pranami Mantra has what? Nirvishesha Sunyavadi. Nirvishesha Sunyavadi means the Nirvishesh impersonalists are now going to get delivered by Prabhupada's mind. So that's why his Pranami Mantra also has this word Nirvishesh, Sunyavadi, and Paschatyadesh. These 3 people get delivered by Prabhupada. This is Nirvishesh. And Sunyavadi are who? Buddhists. And Paschatyadesh, we all know, Westerners. So Prabhupada came to deliver all these people. Now we will chant the mantra 2. It's also a very interesting mantra. Although I don't remember, but I hope to remember it along with you. By the time you remember, I'll also remember the thing. Urban, first we'll read the word-to-word meaning so that we can understand and then memorize it easily. Urban, doing continuously. Eva means thus. Iha, during this span of life. Karmani, work. Jiji Vishet, ones who desire to live. Satam, 100. Sama, years. Evam, so living. Tvai, unto you. Na, no. Anyatha, alternative. Ita, from this path. Asti, there is. Na, not. Karma, work. Lipyate, can be bound. Nare, unto a man. So, what's the meaning? Translation. Anybody wants to read? Read. Quickly.
Translation by Srila Prabhupada. One may aspire to live for hundreds of years if he continuously goes on working in that way, for that sort of work will not bind him to the law of karma. There is no alternative to this way for man.
So even if we aspire to live for a long time, and if we continuously go on working, but that sort of work will not bind us if we are surrendered. That way means Isavasyam principle. In that Ishavasyam principle, if we are living, even if we live for a long time, the work which we are doing will not bind us. But otherwise, if somebody just desires to live longer, what is he creating? More and more karma. And more and more karma will bring him more and more reactions. In this way, he will get more and more bound up in this world. However, if we live in this Isavasya principle, then we can get free from this bondage. Let's chant the sloka now. So we can chant 3 times one line. Kurvan eveha karmani. Chant together 3 times.
Kur-
Kurvan
कुर्वन्
Eveha
एवेह कर्माणि
karmani
Kurvan eveha karmani
कुर्वन्
कुर्वन्
Purnana
एवेह
eveha
कर्माणि
karmani
eveha karmani
कुर्वन् एवेह
Purnana
कर्माणि
tam karma
jivishet satam sama
जिजीविषेच्छतं
Tam
समः
sama
jivishet satam sama
जिजीविषेच्छतं समः
Tam sama
jivishet satam sama
जिजीविषेच्छतं समः
sama
Kurvan eveha karmani jivishet satam sama
कुर्वन्
Purnana
एवेह कर्माणि
eveha karmani
जिजीविषेच्छतं समः
Kurvan eveha karmani jivishet satam sama
कुर्वाण एवेह कर्माणि जिजीविषेच्छतं समः
एवं त्वयि नान्यथे तोस्ति
Evam
एवं त्वयि नान्यथे तोस्ति
एवं त्वयि नान्यथेतोऽस्ति
एवं त्वयि नान्यथे तोस्ति
एवं त्वयि नान्यथेतोऽस्ति
न कर्म लिप्यते
न कर्मे लिप्यते नरे
न कर्म लिप्यते नरे
न कर्मे लिप्यते नरे
न कर्म लिप्यते नरे
न कर्मे लिप्यते नरे
एवं त्वयि नान्यथे तोस्ति
एवं त्वयि नान्यथेतोऽस्ति
न कर्म लिप्यते नरे
न कर्मे लिप्यते नरे
कुर्वन् एवेह कर्माणि
कुर्वन् एवेह कर्माणि
ईशेषतं नमा
जिजीविषेच्छतं समः
एवं त्वयि नान्यथेतोऽस्ति
एवं त्वयि नान्यथेतोऽस्ति
न कर्म लिप्यते नरे
न कर्म लिप्यते नरे
So, like this, if we understand the word to word meanings, again you can go through the word to word meaning, then it will be easy for you to understand. Okay. This way, here, what he's saying, there is no alternative way for man. If we work with this Isavasya principle, then this does not bind. But if we do not work in this principle, then there is no alternative way. What does this no alternative way means? No alternative way means what? Means if we try to do any other process, follow any other process, like let's say, suppose we may think that there is a building. If there is a building, and in that building, if we stand on the topmost floor, and we think that there is the option is Isavasya principle to come down, or to go to any other floor, Isavasya principle, or the stairs are the only option. But if we try to say that no, there is another option, we can jump from the top. So will that be a wise option to jump from the top and go out of the building? No. To go to other floor or to go out of the building, the option is to take the stairs. But if we don't take the stairs, there is no other alternative available. But if we try to quarrel that yes, there is another alternative, I can just jump from the topmost floor. Will that be a wise option? No. So that will actually bind us. That will actually not help us to go out of this bondage. That's why uh, here in the Isavashyam principle, here it is said that what is the Isavashyam principle? That everything belongs to the Lord, and whatever is my quota, I will only accept that. So that is the Isavasya principle. And here he will mostly explain on how Ishwar can be acknowledged. Ishwar means the Lord, how the Lord can be acknowledged. Because if we don't accept that Lord exists, then how will we continue on understanding this Isavasya principle? To understand this Isavasya principle more, we need to acknowledge the Ishwar. So here we are accepting that thing. And Prabhupada will speak here about a few things like how if we are bound in karma bandhan, how that will not help us. And then he will continue to speak on how this human life should be utilized to do a karma, or should be utilized to work for the Lord, for no action or reaction. We should work for the Lord, that is akarma. And also here it will be described how Vedas are ultimately teaching about or taking us to this platform of akarma, which is pure Krishna consciousness. And beginning, and then Prabhupada says about how we can bring God into our lives, wherever we are, be it material, in whichever level we are, how we can bring God into it. And then Prabhupada speaks about how we can make every processes like communism, capitalism, and all other process into karma yoga. How to add Krishna in our life, how to make it God conscious. So like this, he speaks. And now he begins with, Prabhupada speaks about sunlight. He says that sunlight is pervading all over the universe, isn't it? Because sunlight is pervading, so one can say that sun is there everywhere. So similarly, the Lord pervades throughout the universe, and the soul also pervades throughout the body. Like the soul has its control all through the body. Like it can, soul has control from the top of the head to feet, and but it has no control over outside. And similarly, the Lord is present all over the universe, or even beyond the creation, whole creation. Lord has control from beginning of the universes to the end of it. He has a view of all of these. Now, he gives one example. I was listening to a lecture from Chaitanya Charan Prabhu. So he was giving one example. Suppose we go for a movie, and in that movie we see that the actor is not living. Means I mean to say, the actor in the mid of the movie, the actor goes through an accident, and the villain comes out and hits him on his head, and he dies in the middle of the movie. So how will all feel? Do we have any link with that actor? No. But when we sit inside the movie, we relate with it. And because we relate with it, we become affected. So that movie has no connection with us. But if we go out of the movie hall, suppose I go out of the movie hall, I saw, oh, it's not a good movie. But if I sit and watch the whole movie, then I'll be horrified. I'll be terrified. So that time, because we related ourselves with the actor, that's why we are getting affected. So similarly, because we are relating ourselves with this body, that's why we are getting affected. But actually, we are not this body, but we are spirit souls. Why we are spirit soul? Because we are part and parcel of Krishna, and we are Satchidananda in quality. That's why we are not affected. We should not get affected by this. But because we are relating ourselves with this body, that's why we are getting affected. The misidentification of the soul. That because of the misidentification of the soul with the body, we are getting affected. Like the person who went to the movie, because he was identifying himself as a part of that movie, with the actor, he was identifying himself in a relation, in such relation. That's why he was getting affected. But if we are not affected, like some children, they keep on playing like that. It doesn't matter. It doesn't matter for them. So similarly, if we are on the platform of soul, we won't get affected. But because we are on this bodily platform, we are getting affected by this. So how we will be able to decide in which level we are now? How will we be able to decide? By how much we want to enjoy this material life, isn't it? Suppose this material life is there and we want to enjoy, we want to relate ourselves with the body and enjoy, because we went to the movie for what? For getting some enjoyment. But when we went to the movie, we became terrified and horrified. Similarly, when we start enjoying the objects, start doing sense gratification with the various objects, then we get affected. But if we become wise and we don't go for that kind of enjoyment, we go out of the movie hall, then we'll not be affected. So similarly, as long as we are just trying to enjoy this material life, we are suffering. But the moment we want to go out of it, we will get the help from the Lord. That's why, as we discussed, to go out of this material world, first we have to know what is karma, because we have to perform something. The soul is asked to perform some work. Now, which work can we perform? There are three kinds of work. Bhagavad Gita, you might have read in the third chapter. Krishna says that karma, akarma, and vikarma. Karma means what? Good karma, or it is that's why it is also called as sukarma. Sukarma, akarma, and vikarma. So, what is sukarma? That means which is done according to the Vedic principles. If we follow the Vedic principles and act, then that is called sukarma. And if we do not follow the Vedic principles and act, that is called vikarma. Sukarma and vikarma. Sukarma's other name is karma. So be it karma or vikarma, both are going to give us reactions, isn't it? Both will give us reactions. Suppose I do some good thing, then I'm going to get the good result for it. And if I do something bad, I'm going to get the bad results. So both are going to bind us in this material world. But the third category of karma is akarma, which Krishna says that it does not mean inaction. Akarma means literal translation may mean that it is inaction. It does not um, actually mean that, although literally it seems so, but it means that action which produces no reaction. So karma is action which produces no reaction. That is the definition of akarma. And Prabhupada says this akarma is something in this platform. If we perform some activity, if we perform some action, then we are going to get freed from the cycle of birth and death. Now we are bound up in this cycle of birth and death. But if we perform action in this akarma, in this platform of akarma, then we are going to get freed from this platform of from the cycle of birth and death. And in this platform, for whose pleasure do we act? For the pleasure of Krishna. Like suppose we are admitted in a hospital and the doctor wants to do some operation because we have some disease. And if we don't cooperate with the doctor, can we cure ourselves from the disease? Suppose doctor says that you have to eat this medicine, you have to take this injection, and if you don't take it, will we get cured? No, because we are not following the instructions of the doctor. So similarly, when Lord says that we should act in this platform of akarma, and if we are not acting, if we are not acting in this platform of giving pleasure to Krishna, and if we don't act on that platform, then we are definitely going to get the reaction and get wound up. Will not get freed. But if we cooperate with the doctor, in contrary, then we can easily become freed and recover. So it's the same thing. Like if we uh, go to that movie and when we see that horror, it's a horror movie, and if we go out of that theater, that is occurring. Knowingly, if it is not helping us, we should leave that action. So any action which produces no reaction is called occur, and that is only pure Krishna conscious activity. You will see one very nice thing Prabhupada has mentioned. Prabhupada hardly mentions the name of Krishna in the whole book. You will see. That is very beauty. That is the beauty of this Upanishad book, that Prabhupada hardly mentions Krishna's name. Actually, I didn't find anywhere Prabhupada has mentioned Krishna, because Prabhupada targets a different audience here. Prabhupada is trying to bring the impersonalist into this movement. So wonderfully Prabhupada describes, although we are taking it, we are writing, we are telling about Krishna consciousness, but Prabhupada simply mentions how we can bring them to God consciousness or God. So this is what is, we can say that how karma binds us and akarma frees us. So that is how we should act. And now the second part Prabhupada describes is how this killing, human life is meant for liberation, and which gives liberation? Karma gives liberation. But if somebody, now what is this akarma? Another example Prabhupada gave another place, that suppose I am in an army, and if I am being within the army, if I go and kill a lot of soldiers, so will I get some medal and get some appreciation? Yes, but if I go after I come to the holiday, and if I kill my neighbor, so will I be left? Will I be spared for that? No, because I'm not following the authority. So action and inaction is like this. If we act on behalf of the Lord, if we act in this principle of Isavasya, then we are actually in this platform of akarma. We are doing action in the form of akarma. But if we act for ourselves on our own whims, then we will bind ourselves. So that's why as long as we live, if we live in this, if we act in this platform of akarma and the Isavasya principle, we are not going to bind ourselves. So many people ask now, you'll see that this spiritual life is actually required or not. Because we can, how we'll act on this platform of karma if we take to the spiritual life. But people say, they ask many things, that is spiritual life a supplement or it's a complement? What is the meaning of supplement and complement? Astos Prabhu, what is the meaning?
Hare Krishna.
What's the meaning?
Yes, Mujik. Complement means those things which are required by each other, which completes each other. Like if one is not there, then others will not be valuable. And supplement means it is kind of addition. One thing is there, and then like if another thing will come, that will increase that value of that previous object.
Perfect. Yeah. So supplement is something additional or extra, and complement is something which is essential and which is missing. Means complement is a part of it, but supplement is apart from the whole. So what is the spiritual life? If somebody asks you, is it a complement Is it a part of it, essential portion of it, or of our life, or it is a supplement? Like some people say, oh, you are practicing spirituality. Oh, very good. I don't practice. I don't like to practice. So what is he thinking? Like it's a supplement, additional. So is it a supplement or complement? What would you say? What would you say? Sorry for the network problem. Anyway. Okay. So what is this spiritual life? Is it a supplement or complement? Who can say?
It is complement to.
Yeah, it seems like it is complement, isn't it? But actually, it is not even complement. It is a complete replacement. That's what
Yes.
it will be more wise to say, because just see, we are not adding anything here. It's not just essential, it is completely transformational, because the spiritual life is not about what we add to our life, but we completely convert our life. Initially we think that it is complement, but over the time we understand that actually it is a replacement, isn't it? Like now Asutosh Prabhu got initiated, so his name got completely changed. His role is now completely to act on the platform of servant of Krishna. So this is how we can understand that actually this spiritual life is a replacement, not just a complement also. So how necessary is it to practice the spiritual life, we can come to know by this. Anyway, so Prabhupada continues to speak about that how this akarma principle is this inaction principle, or this action which creates no reaction, and this principle is actually what will not bind us, rather free us from this birth and death cycle. Now, there another part Prabhupada speaks about altruism, nationalism, social service. All these are actually part of karma bandhan. So how we can go out of that portion of all these karma bandhans? We have to spiritualize all this. So Prabhupada speaks about spiritualizing all these isms. And to spiritualize all these isms, what we have to do, like suppose we are doing sense gratification. If the sense gratification, if we add God, it becomes what? Karma kanda. Karma kanda means what? We are trying to enjoy our senses, and I will follow the religious practices so that I can get good means to enjoy the senses more nicely. So I will worship the Lord to get more benefit in terms of uh, material enjoyment. So that is karma kanda. And then there is another also ism. What is that? Altruism, which is related. Altruism means what? Nationalism, right? I forgot that. Many times I get confused. Anybody knows what is the meaning of altruism? Okay, so tell.
That is
Hmm?
doing good for others.
Kind of social service, right?
Yes.
So that also we have to add God and make it as spiritual altruism. So in this way, Prabhupada speaks about how we can convert all this into by adding this to it. But there are, if you see, Prabhupada also speaks about spiritualizing the apara dharma. Initially he tells that we are not this body and reject all these bodily designations. And the next verse, he speaks about in the Bhagavad Gita that how we should follow the apara dharma, para and apara. What is the difference between para and apara? Which is para and which is apara? Para means
Or
beyond this material world, that is spiritual. And apara means in this material world. Para means beyond. So that's a beyond this material means that is spiritual. And apara means in this world. Okay. So how to spiritualize this world, apara? How to spiritualize it? Same thing, by performing action which will create no reaction. That means by performing word consciousness, Krishna consciousness. Is not it? So if you see Bhagavad Gita, that sloka 2.13, we will just say at that sloka here. Krishna speaks very nicely. What does Krishna says here? Dehinosmin jatha dehe komaram jauvanam jara tatha dehantara prapti dhiras tatra na muyati. What is the meaning? Who can say? The meaning is what?
ଯେମିତି ଆତ୍ମା ଗୋଟେ ବଡିରେ ମାନେ ଶୈଶବ ଅବସ୍ଥାରୁ ଯୌବନ ଅବସ୍ଥାରୁ ବୃଦ୍ଧାବସ୍ଥା ପ୍ରାପ୍ତ ହୁଏ, ଠିକ ସେମିତି ଆତ୍ମା ଗୋଟେ ଶରୀରରୁ ଅନ୍ୟ ଶରୀରକୁ ଯାତ୍ରା କରେ।
So Krishna is simply speaking that dhiras tatra na muyati, and a dhir purush or a wise person does not get affected by it, है ना? And just see in the next sloka what he is saying. Matra sparsastu Kaunteya. Saying Kaunteya. Matra sparsastu Kaunteya Sitosna Sukha Dukhada. Agama Paina Nityas Tam Stitikshasva Bharat. He's saying Kaunteya. First of all, he is saying that you are not this body, initially told. And now he is saying, addressing him in the name of Kunti, as a son of Kunti. And then later again he is saying Bharata, O scion of the Bharat, O means great king of Bharat. So he is addressing Arjun with two great designations. You saw that? Although he is telling, I am not relating, we are not this body. Although he is telling we are not this body, but he is addressing with this principle. Addressing him with the bodily designation. Just see the intelligence of Krishna. Krishna is actually telling that Arjun, you are not this body. Then he is addressing him with the designations of the body. So what is Krishna doing? Actually, Krishna is trying to inspire him by addressing through these titles. Because somehow or other, if he he pats him like this, then he can take to this, he can understand this process. So sometimes when we are preaching, we have to be little adjustive. Like when we are meeting people, when we see that people are not accepting Krishna consciousness, we have to add what? Sugarcoat. Sugarcoating means what? Sugarcoating means this thing. we have to add this sugar coating and give the medicine. Like children, they don't take medicine. What we do? We give them sugar, and in the name of, in between sugar, we also give them medicine so that they drink it also. है ना? So once Prabhupada went to one place which is called, you may know, the Punjabis know that, Akhada. Prabhupada went there, and Prabhupada saw that they were gymming and they were bodybuilding. So that time Prabhupada says that, oh, very good, you are all doing this, but you should chant Ram, Ram, Ram. Prabhupada told that when you are doing all this, simultaneously also chant Ram's name, Lord Ram's name, because Lord Ram also had such energetic army like Hanuman, and he could lift big boulders, and then because of that he could also make the bridge, and then they could also, Hanuman could jump across the ocean. So that's why Prabhupada told them that you chant Ram, Ram, Ram. You do your exercises and you also chant Ram. So Prabhupada is telling, because we need Kshatriyas for the society. So in this way, Prabhupada is telling everybody to, inspiring everybody to take the process of Krishna consciousness. So what is Prabhupada doing? He is using the person's material identification to get them to practice spirituality. That was their material identification, and now Prabhupada is saying that you add spirituality into it. You chant Ram's name. So similarly, if somebody wants to contribute for food, then we say, don't just be a food distributor, but we should distribute prasad. That's like food for life. If you want to give food to poor, then give prasad. So similarly, we can purify their thing. So charitable activity also need to be spiritualized like this. And directly, that's why we need not give the highest level of principle. That's why Prabhupada is going slowly, Krishna is also going slowly, and everybody should go in that principle. When we read Bhagavad Gita, in the last only it comes about Sarva Dharman Parityaja. But initially Krishna speaks about all other yogas and all other philosophies. But at the end he speaks about this Sarva Dharman Parityaja. And Manmana Bhava Bhakto he speaks twice, in the 9th chapter and also in the 18th chapter. So in this way, Krishna is also not giving the highest philosophy from the beginning. So similarly, Prabhupada is saying that we should encourage people to begin spiritual life by saying, if you practice this much, there's no harm. Like we all say, if we can chant one round, not a problem. Please try to chant one round at least. Just chant one round at least. So in this way, they get more inspired. That is how we have to perform these activities. You want to do something, then do it, but add Krishna to it. Add Isavasya principle to it. Because everything ultimately belongs to the Lord. If we can bring him to this principle, then he will be able to understand that how Krishna consciousness helps, and then he will take to this spiritual path. And how much more is there? Okay, little bit is there. We'll complete the verse 2. These verses are very small. Nectar of Instruction was little big verse, but here it is smaller. And then Prabhupada says that a person, even if he is very devoted, but he may not be very famous, by performing inaction or akarma, sometimes we can see that a person, even if he is very devoted, he may not be very famous. Like a simple devotee, you see, many grihasthas are there who lead a very simple life. Many brahmacharis are there who you may not know also. But because they are practicing God consciousness, what is the benefit they are going to get? The ultimate benefit. They are going to get the Krishna's planet. They are going to get the love of Godhead. So that's why even though by doing something we don't realize what benefit we are getting, but we must continue that. Like Prabhupada would say that suppose you are paying obeisances to spiritual master. Even if you don't want to pay, offer it. Even if you don't want to offer flowers in Guru Puja to Prabhupada, still offer it. because that is actually, we don't know that how much we are performing a wonderful spiritual activity, which is actually helping us, not just creating reaction, but actually helping us to go beyond this material birth and death cycle. Not just freeing us from this bondage. Our goal of our life is not just to get free from the jail. Suppose a prisoner is inside the jail. Is his goal of life to get just freed from the jail? He can just run away. Like the person who jumped from the topmost floor of the building. Is that the goal of his goal of prisoner? No. The prisoner's goal is to go out and get proper employment, get properly established in the society. So that should be the goal. Our goal is not just to get liberated from this material world, but also to get the place in the spiritual abode. So that's about social service. Later, Prabhupada will explain, and there we'll discuss more about it. So in this way, Upanishad actually tells that how action is binding us, but inaction, or in terms of akarma, sorry, not inaction, akarma, karma is binding, or bikarma is binding, but akarma is freeing us. So one sloka is there in Srimad Bhagavatam. Prabhupada did not mention the sloka, but he tells about the thing in the purport that a tree lives for hundreds of years. But if we live a long life like that, what is the use? We are not performing anything. So what actually makes the life useful is its content. Also, a person is breathing all the time. One may say, we are breathing, we are continuing performing activity, we are doing some activity, but no, that activity is of no use. Even the what is that called? Prabhupada says that the vastra kimna jivanti. It says that kimda, I don't remember the pura sloka. It is in the second canto, first chapter. It starts with tarava kimna jivanti, like that. So we can search in Vedas, you'll find it. And then he said vastra kimna, how the bellows, the blacksmith's bellow, how that also breathes. A leather bellow that breathes. But what is the benefit of it? Meaning of it? No meaning of it. You know? So to lead a long life is not the aim of our life. To lead a God-conscious life is the aim of our life. Like Lord Jesus Christ, how many years did he live in this planet? Who can say? Chaitanya Mahaprabhu?
48 years, Guruji.
Very good. Chaitanya Mahaprabhu lived 48 years in this planet. And Jesus Christ lived for 33 years. And Adi Sankaracharya lived for 32 years. So their contributions are unparalleled. Or even though they lived for such a small period, but their contributions are unparalleled. That's why length is not so important as long as the contents are there. But if the contents are there, it's very good if we can live longer and serve more. You know? So in ISKCON, we actually don't retire. We try to serve till our last breath. You know? So even if we we become 60 years old, we don't retire. Rather, we preach more vigorously. So that is the Krishna consciousness movement. Here we live longer and also perform a karma all the time. So we are not performing any activity for bondage, but we are becoming freed from this bondage. And then Prabhupada speaks at the end about how this last portion of the purport, Chaitanya Charan Prabhu was sharing that this was added at the end. Prabhupada did not write it because this is a compilation of all the articles from Back to Godhead. Prabhupada wrote one mantra in one article. And in the mantra 2, the last part about all the yogas, that was added by the editors later. When they compiled it in the form of book, they added, and Prabhupada approved. So there he tells, means the editors tell, or Prabhupada tells, you can say, that how nectar of devotion actually speaks. It is written there that nectar of devotion speaks all the processes or all the truth about bhakti yoga, but it does not speak about karma yoga or jnana yoga or anything else. So Srila Prabhupada is quoting. You see in the Ishopanishad, Prabhupada is actually quoting whom? Bhagavad Gita, and now he is proposing to read more, to know more on Bhakti Yoga. What we should read? He is telling Bhakti Rasamrita Sindhu, or nectar of devotion. So that's how we can understand that nectar of devotion is completely filled with the Bhakti Yoga principles. So he is actually Prabhupada is actually taking Bhagavad Gita and then presenting us to make us perform inaction, or perform akarma, not inaction. Inaction is a wrong word. So Prabhupada is not actually rejecting everybody, but he is taking them and gradually helping everybody to rise to this platform. So in this way, if we act in this Isavasya principle and act on this stage of akarma, then we can free ourselves from this bondage of birth and death and go back to Krishna's planet. Then at the end, Prabhupada says that God is not the facilitator of our material life, but He is the ultimate goal of our life. So when somebody comes, what we say? He is enjoying the material things. So first we say him, we tell him that you worship God and you will see that you will get the benefit. This dharma, artha, kama, moksha. The four benefits of practicing religious life are: first is dharma. We say that if you perform pious activity, then artha will come. So somebody who performs pious activity, yajna, and performs charitable activities, he is going to get artha, that is economic development. He is going to get money. And if he performs and he gets money, then what he does? Kama. He does sense enjoyment. And when he does sense enjoyment, ultimately becomes baffled by it, and he understands one day that I should not go for all this, rather I should go for liberation. In this way, gradually he should rise, and we cannot just force anybody to come to this ultimate. If we just, on the first day, if we just say a person that you have come to temple, now give up everything and take to Krishna consciousness, will he be able to take it? No. So in this way, gradually, we have to tell him to add Krishna in his life, God in his life, and then we'll tell him how to worship God and how we can assist the Lord in his activities, how we can help to preach. So in this way, slowly it will help the person to come to Krishna consciousness. Because ultimately, when we bring Krishna in our life, then we are not bringing God, but actually God is bringing us in his life. That means he will lift us. He will lift our consciousness from this material platform to spiritual platform by seeing our interest. That is how we should take to this practice of Krishna consciousness. We can add God, but God will lift us. He will take us ahead. Okay. Is there any question or comments, doubts? If you go through the purport, it will be very clear, because most of the parts we discussed from the purport. Please switch on your videos. And you can also try to memorize the slokas. Okay. Vishwajit Prabhu, thank you for putting tilak. And who else is there? Nice tilak. Radhe Prabhu also.
Pranam.
Hare Krishna, Dandavad Pranam. It's very cold, it seems. There, everywhere.
Yes, Prabhuji, yes,
Yeah. In North India, Asutosh Prabhu is also very cold. That place also is so
Asutosh
cold.
Prabhu, Danvat Pranam. Vishwajit Prabhu, Danvat Pranam.
And Chinmay Prabhu also, are you in office or is your home?
Chinmay Prabhu, Danvat Pranam.
Duty है जी? Oh, अच्छा, okay. Okay. ठीक है. Thank you for coming. And please read the purport. If you have the Isopanishad book, you read, or else you can go through Vedavis. Astotru, you have the book hard copy? Okay, okay. You can read from the yeah. Okay. So thank you then. Shall we end it? Next time I'm expecting we will be able to memorize slokas.
Yes, Prabhuji.
Please read the purport. It will not take much, 15 minutes. You can just, it will be just a revision what we read. Okay. Hare Krishna then. Thank you. Wish you a happy week ahead. And His Holiness Bhakti Prem Maharaj is arriving to Bhubaneswar on January 2nd. And there will be programs till January 7th. I will let you know. Next Sunday, I may not be there. I have to go to Jajpur on January 3rd. There is a program in Jajpur Road. So some of our boys have already gone there. We will go there. And if we can, then we'll have, or else I will send you the link of Maharaj's class and you can attend. Okay?
Yes, Prabhu.
ठीक है. Thank you. वंशकल्पतरुभ्यश्च कृपासिन्धुभ्यश्च पतितानां पावनेभ्यो वैष्णवेभ्यो
वैष्णवेभ्यो नमो
वैष्णवे
नमः।
श्रील प्रभुपाद की जय. गौर भक्तों
जय
की जय.
जय
जय गौर प्रेमानंदे. हरि बोल.
हरि हरि बोल.